Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here.
And Hannah.
And we're from
Squatch
America. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are rebranding. And it's done. Done deal.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of. But, so this is the old logo. And right up there.
Is there something up there?
It's right there.
Oh, look at that.
It's the new logo.
Yes.
Okay.
Can't do that. All right. So
we got a really big show for you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we kind of took last week off, mainly because it came down the last minute and we had been so busy we weren't quite ready, admittedly. And secondly, we found out that Sunday nights have been horrible for the lag, and last week's sound quality wasn't good. That was probably my fault because we were trying to figure out how to do Zoom and all that stuff. But hopefully you're here us fine tonight. See, Danny's on. Hasn't been here for a while.
Danny.
Welcome back,
That's
Danny.
Okay. You know
Hi,
what?
Craig.
Sometimes we forget about us guys too.
Yep.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to see Danny and Craig.
Yep. So we got a really good show. Anything special?
HannahVillette.com is closer to reality. I got my domain reserved and purchased yesterday, and that website will be live in October. And at HannahVillette.com, not only will you get to read my personal blog, because everyone, I know you all want to get in there and muck around in my head. And you're saying no.
You don't want to go there.
But that's where the Adventures of the Paddy Wagon will be. And I will also be, doing all my healthy living stuff, that journey, healthy recipes and videos, and even little insights into the memoir I am working on getting published.
So we got, kind of got two sides to what we're doing. We're living full time in our RV, and we're, traveling. Well, of course, this summer we haven't been traveling a lot because of the world.
And quite frankly, that's one of the reasons why we've not been as consistent on Sunday nights as we can, because sometimes the work camping thing here takes priority. Yeah,
and
it happens.
It happens. So, and we haven't been out doing a whole lot of stuff because a whole lot of stuff hasn't been open to go out and do. So, needless to say, coming in October, things are going to be looking up.
Yes.
So what we're planning on doing, and we're going to get to this a little bit later, is our travels, our American Squatch America travels are starting soon. Really soon. Yeah.
Oh, yes. While you're talking about that, I'll pull up some of our travels that are coming up because I've got.
So we're going to be talking about that in a second. I'm ready.
Well, good. Well, you don't have everything because she didn't message you. She messaged me.
So this is, here we go. Here's our new logo. There's a really good look at it right there. Ooh, it's right. I always do it wrong. That way.
That way. That way.
Yep.
Isn't that great? Shout out to Michelle for doing that.
Yeah. Michelle, I can always mess up her last name. What's her last name? Something.
Gregoire.
What?
Gregoire. Yes, Michelle Gregoire.
Oh, and hi Dale. I just saw your text. Okay. She did this logo for us. Awesome.
It's gonna look awesome on t-shirts and on the side of our rigs. And
she does a lot of artsy stuff. So
she's an amazing jewelry designer.
Yeah,
so go check her out at Ripple Designs.
RippleDesigns.com, right? No, I don't know.
Anyway,
Google Ripple Designs. Actually, we'll put a link after the show in the description for her. So.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, by the way, and just to hit some chat stuff here, we're happy Craig came through his bypass surgery.
Yay! Hi, Johnny.
And you can get out there and do some squatching now, Craig.
Yay!
Get that health back, man. Let's go. We're going to be back. In fact, Craig, we're going to be back in Oregon November-ish.
Yes.
In your neck of the woods. We want to stop by and say hi, Craig. So
But our first stop after we leave here
is
South
Dakota.
South Dakota. Here we come.
So watch out, South Dakota Squatches.
In fact, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Jen Cruz from the She Squatchers.
Yeah, Jen Cruz from the She Squatchers.
And she texted me with these. Sika Hollow State Park. Stay close to trails because there's quicksand there, lots of Bigfoot and little people.
Quicksand?
Yes.
Really, like the old cowboy movies, where I literally thought when I was a kid growing up, those old cowboy movies, everybody died in quicksand. I'm like, I was so thought that would be a bigger problem in my life, but it's not really. Quicksand? Really?
Quicksand, yes.
I have never found quicksand in the woods, and I've been in a lot of woods. In a lot of places, in a lot of countries, all around the world. I have never seen quicksand.
Well, South Dakota, Sika Hollow State Park. She says, every time we've been on our way back.
Hi, Johnny.
Every time we've been on our way back from somewhere and spent the night with intentions of spending the next day at Sika Hollow, it rained. So we haven't fully explored the place yet, but the natives all suggest going there to find Bigfoot. He will be there with a canotina, little people of the wooded trees. They look just like Bigfoot, except they're small, 2 to 3 feet tall. So we could do that in South Dakota. Go to Sika Hollow State Park.
Done. Okay. Go find us some small people in quicksand and a Squatch.
And we're going to go to that other place that has Chief Standing Bear carved into the rock.
Yeah, we're going to go do that too. Absolutely.
And then after that, we're going to head back to Oregon for a few weeks to get our storage unit cleaned out and do early Thanksgiving and stuff like that.
And meet Craig. Yep, that's on our agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out, Craig. We're coming for you.
Yep.
So anyway, and then after that, we're going to spend some time going through Nevada. There's not a lot of Squatches. There are Squatches, but not a lot in Nevada.
On the world's loneliest.
On the world's loneliest highway. We're gonna go do that. Funny, Dale. Funny. If you hear somebody tapping on the windows, you can't get the window behind us because he's too short.
Hey, Renee.
Hey, Renee. So,
you gonna open that up?
Hello. Hello? See, he can't reach the window.
Short little French guy.
Sorry,
Always
Dale,
a joker.
but we can't leave the window open because you get glare and you can see our computer screens.
Yep.
And find out I'm actually just playing Tetris while we're doing this.
All right. So shall we get to the...
Shall we get to the thing?
Oh, one more announcement.
One more. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You need to announce what we're doing tonight with our surplus t-shirts.
Oh yeah. So since we got all you on right now, we have a bunch of surplus Blue Mountain Bigfoot.
Never to be manufactured again. These
limited
are
time,
limited edition collector's
items. And I know some of you have already got some of these, and we've got some limited sizes. I think I got like one small, and I've got a bunch of larges, and then they jump to extra large. I don't have any 2X's left, but I got 3 and a 4X.
Okay.
So if you got a Squatch sized person that needs a 4X, we got one of those.
Anyway.
But here's the deal. What's the deal?
The dealio. $15 in the super chat and it's yours. Just go ahead and you can super chat in your $15 and then message us or email us the size that you're looking for. And remember, we've got a small, we have no mediums, correct?
Yep. Correct.
We've got larges or just extra larges?
We got larges.
We have small, large, extra large, 2X, 3X, 4X.
4X.
So no mediums.
No mediums.
We just have no mediums. Anyway, $15 in the super chat. And then message us your mailing address. Does include, that includes shipping. So,
yeah,
so $15 in the super chat. And
so actually the $15 pretty much is the shipping, by the way.
Yeah, the shipping is insane.
All right. So thank you, Renee. I got you logged in. Like if you want to, I don't know if you figured out how to super chat. You can actually just send it right here, right now in your chat.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the chat thing, there's a $sign.
There's a $sign. You can just click on that,
and then it'll take your payment right there.
Yeah. So you can send us all the money you want. It doesn't have to be 15. You can send us all your money.
I can't believe you just said that.
No. No, just kidding. And
yes, I'm sure YouTube uses secure stuff.
Yeah. As much as any other internet thing does. So.
Yeah.
That's that. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Tonight we're going to be talking about, like on our opening logo said, the state of Sasquatch. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about the United States, since we're now Squatch America, and we're going to be traveling state to state and finding your Squatch and hearing your stories and bringing that live to the rest of the world. Whenever we find your story or sit down with people, whatever, and we're going to do town hall meetings, it's going to be awesome. All through the entire United States. So thank you, Renee. But all right, so here we go. If you can see this map, I have to look really close. So anyway, we have
what?
And we're going to be talking about state by state who has the most. I thought I had that on here. I did have that on there. What happened to my... Oh no!
Guess what? Your wife will save your butt.
Nope.
What?
Okay. So if you can look at the map, the brown states or the tanner states are the ones that have the most sightings, and then coast, Washington, Oregon, and California is our
that's our neck of the woods.
That's our neck of the woods where we're from. And then we've got like Texas, and it looks like Illinois up in that area, and then down into Florida and Georgia are all pretty much Squatchy areas.
Okay. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to start with the most or the we were going to actually cover the top 10 states.
We're going to cover the top 10 right now.
All right. So, okay. Number 10. Or should we start with the top 10 least likely places to spot a Squatch? Which one should we do? The least likely places or the most likely places?
What
are you doing?
I'm messing up.
You are completely messing up. Stop
I'm
pushing
completely
buttons.
messing up.
Oh.
So hold on.
Some people want us more polished. I'm thinking we
we need to be more polished. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm working on it. Okay.
Setting up for that last Zoom call really screwed up all our settings.
Yeah, they really messed up our system because I haven't got that figured out yet. And I watched YouTube videos. I set it up like they did, and then it didn't work. So,
what are you doing?
No, go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna. Did we want to do the least likely places to see it or the most?
The
likely?
least first.
Okay, we're gonna go the least first. Okay, here are the states where you are least likely to see, and this is based on. I'll just tell you, this is based on BFRO data. And we know that they don't really keep up super well, but this is based on BFRO data, okay? So, the least likely place that you are going to see Sasquatch is Nevada. Go figure. It's all desert. It's the least likely place you're going to see people.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that we want to take the loneliest road. That'll be a nice drive.
It will.
So we have got our loneliest road passport ready to go. So Nevada. However, then after Nevada, you're slightly more likely. There you go. That's the most sightings. Where are the least sightings? Did you put the least sightings up?
There we go.
All right, there we go. Then we have Rhode Island. We're not too far from Rhode Island. Rhode Island has 1/2 a sighting per 100,000 people. So it takes 200,000 people to see a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That one sighting. Okay.
Which is an interesting stat if you think about it. Breaking it down like this is really kind of telling. Like, how many people are in that state? How many people have to, like how many people have to be in the woods before one people wins the lottery to see a Bigfoot? It's amazing how many people have to be around before you see one. And Craig just said that. I just noticed that popped up. So
yeah,
it's amazing.
You have to have a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's these things are so elusive and there's so few of them. It's like winning the lottery to see one.
And the more data you have, your stats are going to go down.
Exactly. Because that's how I saw my first one, was the fact that I set up a way to collect data to be able to track this sucker, and then when I started getting a lot of data points in a certain area, that's when I knew when and where to go.
Yeah.
And it took me 25 years to do that.
Yeah. So then after Rhode Island, then we have a few more in Massachusetts. They're a little bit outpopulated by the witches, though.
Yeah.
You're much more likely to see a witch.
Yeah, and
which we did.
We
went to Salem and we visited Penny Cabot's Shop Enchanted, which was pretty awesome.
Pretty cool.
A little heavy on the incense, but cool otherwise.
Yep.
And we saw one of the Salem witch museums. That was kind of fun.
Yep.
And then there's Connecticut. I know nothing about Connecticut. But again, they're still, actually these are all about the same, and then Delaware. So basically that whole little surrounding New York block.
Yeah, in that area.
Yeah. And then we move up, have a few more.
But you also got to think, a lot of these states, they're not like Oregon and Washington and California. No. I mean, you could fit most of these states in Oregon altogether.
Yeah. So, and then after that, we have Maryland and New York. New York has had 113 sightings.
Yep.
So.
That's, I'm pretty sure, Whitehall.
Okay.
Yep.
And then.
Very popular Bigfoot place in New York, Whitehall. We planned on going through on the way back. So.
We're hoping to.
Then
after that, we have Mississippi. And oh my gosh, Nebraska. We like Nebraska. Here's why. Because in North Platte, Nebraska, there's this awesome brewery with a little restaurant, and they have the best Chipotle chicken nachos on the planet. Just saying.
Believe it or not, we found the best nachos on the planet in Nebraska.
Yep. Absolutely.
Of course, it had corn on it because Nebraska, but it was awesome.
They were awesome. They weren't overloaded. Sometimes you go for nachos and you get way too many refried beans on it.
Yeah.
And that's all you get.
So, that was really good.
No mushy chips in it.
So, if I could remember the name of that place, we'd plug it, but I can't.
Yeah, I can't remember it. I'd have to look it up. And then there's North Dakota, which is just north of where we plan to be. In fact, the Seco Hollow State Park is right on the border.
Yes.
So.
That's where we're headed.
So interesting. What are you looking for?
I was going to look up that place. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, those are the top. If you're really, really serious about finding Bigfoot, don't go to those states.
Or have a lot of data when you do.
Yeah, have tons of data. All right. So I have to find her message again. Now you completely messed up my rhythm.
Now we're going to go to
the top 10 most likely states to see Bigfoot.
Okay, the states that are most likely to see a Bigfoot.
All right.
Overall is dun dun dun. Go figure.
Number 10 is Missouri.
Oh, we're gonna go backwards. Okay.
We're gonna go backwards.
Missouri.
Yes. They've got trees.
They do. It's
actually a pretty state.
It's a pretty state. So
you know what, Johnny? I don't know why no Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Actually, hold on just a minute. We're on the top 10 list now, so just give us time. Michigan is the next one.
We're getting there. Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And I did not prepare this report. This was sent to me by a blog source.
Yeah, by a secret blog source.
Yes, I don't remember who sent it to me. Someone sent it to me. Said you might want to write a blog on this, and instead I said, well, we need some fodder for our show, so we're going to use it for that instead. Anyway, Missouri has 2.5 sightings per 100,000 people. So we're starting to move up. And then after Missouri, we have Michigan. No Upper Peninsula. Okay, so I'm sure there is plenty of evidence. However, I have nothing to say. I don't know where that was going. I'm not made for this. I'm not meant to do this.
You're not meant to do this?
No. I'm having a hard time riffing.
Okay. No. Well, actually, there's a lot of sightings in Michigan.
Please tell us.
Please tell us? I've just made that up. No.
No,
the thing is, this report is done by a population of humans versus the sightings thing. So, which kind of leads us into an idea of how many Bigfoot there is per human. Almost gives us the data for the population. So out of, like, say, Michigan here, they've got almost, 10 million?
10 million people.
So 2.2% of 10 million is?
I don't know. Alexa, what is 2.2% of 10 million?
2.2% of 10 million is 220,000.
So, is there 220,000 Bigfoot in Michigan?
Or did 220,000 people see?
That's 220,000 people saw a Bigfoot.
Or reported a Bigfoot.
Over the years.
Mm-hmm. So.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people if you think about it.
Or it could be half of those people each had 2 sightings. How many times are we going to count the same sighting as multiples?
I don't know.
I'm not going to go any further with that. Texas is the next. And actually, we're planning on spending a fair amount of time this winter in Texas.
Yes, we're going to winter in Texas for a couple of reasons. We're going to, and that's why we're kind of covering this thing, is so we can talk to you a little bit about our plans. After we go to South Dakota, we're going to spend like November in Oregon and hopefully get out of there before the snow flies. We won't spend a lot of November in Oregon.
No, because it's cold and it'll snow.
And then we're going to cruise.
It's 2020, and so God knows it might be a freaking avalanche.
Yeah. And then we're gonna cruise through Nevada. That's why she mentioned we're going to go down the loneliest road in America, which is in Nevada, just for fun. We're going to do that, and then we're going to be snaking our way down to. Well, actually, we're going to go through Nevada and then kind of sneak over to California.
I have a sister there.
To see her sister for just a bit. We're going to go to the People's Republic of California for just a little bit. And we'll be down by Danny's area. I think Danny...
We're going to be camping.
Bodfish Blues is in Bakersfield, if I remember correctly.
We're going to be
somewhere. We're going to be south of there a little bit.
We're going to be in Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita. Okay.
So, anyway, Gordon brings up.
So maybe we'll sneak up and see Danny in Bakersfield.
We just have to zip up over the grapevine.
Yeah, just got to go over the grapevine to get to Bakersfield from Santa Clarita. So
So, and Gordon Pappy Two Bears brings up a good point. You can make stats show anything depending on the parameters or filters that you place on the numbers. You're exactly right.
Correct.
I have 3 research-based master's degrees, and guess what I learned from all that research? You can make it say anything you bloody
Yes. In fact, she
want.
cried her way through her stats class.
I hate stats.
Learning to do stats was one of the things she actually took a class on
3 times.
3 times. And she
cried every time.
Yeah, and all 3 of her stat classes came to the same conclusion. You can make stats say anything you want.
Yep, it's true. And honestly, that's why whenever you're looking at research, and all of us seem to notice a lot of research happening, always look at who funded the research, because it will say exactly what the funder wants it to say. Just saying, that's my little political thing for the night.
Yep.
All right, moving on. So moving on. Anyway, we're going to go to Texas.
Texas after that. Yeah,
because we're going to be up in whatever corner it is near
Texarkana. We're going to Texarkana, which is up in the Big Thicket area, which is right next to, you guessed it, Falk, Arkansas.
Which is where
the legend
of Boggy Creek
and the Falk Monster.
Yes. And they've got an awesome convenience store there
called the Monster Mart.
That I just want to go get my picture taken at the Monster Mart.
Yeah, well, she wants to get her picture taken at the Monster Mart.
And have pizza.
Yeah, and then, but I want to go, we're going to go down to the river bottoms and Boggy Creek. The literal Boggy Creek is a creek. We're going to spend some time.
Is it a creek or is it a crick?
I don't know.
Are there cows?
They might be.
If there are cows, it's a crick.
Yeah, I know.
Because you know what those cows are doing in that creek. Turning it into a crick.
So,
if you have not read the
Patrick McManus
books about rancid crabtree, look them up.
Yeah. You'll learn the difference between a crick
and a
creek.
All right. And then Oregon is right after Texas. And actually, I think per capita is less helpful than the number of sightings that they've had. Because, obviously Oregon is a much smaller state than Texas, but it's had more sightings, probably because there's more forested areas.
Or they Bigfoot.
Or more well, based on your migration theory, there's more migratory passages through that area.
Through Oregon.
California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho.
Montana.
Yeah.
There's a corridor of forests that have no towns in it that runs from California
to the Rockies.
To the Rockies. If you go up through the Cascades, then through the Blues, you're into the Rockies in Montana, in the Bitterroot area. So there's a natural corridor there, and I've talked about this before, and I believe there's a migration pattern. But so that's why we get a lot of sightings in the Blue Mountains.
Yep.
And in the Cascades and in Northern California.
And let me tell you what, those Blue Mountains are thick. They are thick. They're not thick like northern Maine woods thick, but they're thick.
But they're forests. But what they are is they're high.
They're high.
And there are a lot of, what I want to say, a lot of areas where there are no people.
Yeah.
Because of rugged
terrain.
Steep terrain.
Yep.
Where you don't have mountain bikers, you don't have hikers, you have mountain goats. And that's and it's rugged terrain. Like where we lived in Baker, our town was just over 3,000 feet. The mountain behind it was just 10. And it was not many miles between the 3,000 feet and the 10,000 feet. And you're climbing all the time.
Yep.
So,
and even with switch packs, it's not an easy climb.
Yeah, it's not.
All right, so after Oregon, Illinois. Illinois has more sightings than Oregon.
I did not know that. Seriously, I did not know that. Why? Why Illinois?
I wish Bigfoot would take care of Chicago.
What's in Illinois?
Chicago? Corn? Corn is in Illinois.
I got to Google. What forests are in Illinois?
Well, let's see.
Where's Lincoln from? Is it Daniel Boone Forest in Illinois?
I don't know. What? Alexa, what forests are in Illinois?
Here's something I found on the web. According to slideplayer.com, 22 mesocoupling forests grow throughout the state on hilly or sloping areas that are protected from fire.
Interesting.
Alexa,
But not
you're
the answer.
worthless. National forests in Illinois. There's
This
Shawnee
might
National.
answer your question. According to Wikipedia,
Alexa, stop.
Forest is a village.
There's Shawnee National Forest,
Big
Big
River.
River State Forest, Churchill Woods.
Yeah, Big River State Forest. That's why. I've
Well, tell us
heard of a
about
lot.
that.
I've heard a lot of reports come from Big River. That's all. I meant
Okay, well, I'm thinking there's Shawnee National Forest
and Shawnee
as well.
National Forest too.
So that would be an interesting place to go. All right, so Illinois.
So
Maybe someday.
maybe someday.
Yeah.
We'll be driving through Illinois on our way to Nebraska, but we're not going to have time to do anything. So
Okay, yeah, there's so much country to cover. We don't have to do it all in 1 year.
yeah, no
All right.
Texas National Forest.
Yeah, and then there's Southern Illinois, Carbondale area.
Well, there is around in Texas. There's a few really hot spots. There's a thing called the Big Thicket, which is a big forest in Texas.
How did we get back to Texas?
Oh, because I was reading Johnny's
okay.
text. Johnny says, I wonder if I can do that.
What? I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, I'll have to figure out how to do that.
We need to learn how to flash these.
Yeah,
There's a way
there's
to
a way
project
to project the
comments.
the comments.
Anyway, he says fishing sucks there. Okay, we won't go fishing there.
Yeah.
We are going to learn to go scuba diving though when
Yeah.
we get to southern Texas, down by the
Southern-
Gulf.
Down by the Gulf. So anyway, what was I talking
I
about?
know there are no Bigfoot in the ocean to my knowledge, but you never know
Texas.
what kind of cryptid you're going to find down there in the depths.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are in Illinois, moving to Ohio.
Ohio. I can't believe there's more sightings in Ohio than there is
In
in Oregon, but I will totally believe it because Ohio has this thing they call the grass man, and lives in the grassy areas on the edge of the forests, and they find these grass huts and grass structures
Wow.
on a regular basis in Ohio. The Ohio grass man. So and that might get me off on the rabbit trail here a little bit. Let me jump off for a second and say that there are a lot of things out here like Dogman, Grassman, the Sabine thing. There's a whole lot of cryptids that are named throughout the country that I have a strong suspicion they're all Bigfoot. They're just called different things in different areas.
Yeah.
And some of them have slightly different descriptions. But people who come from different continents have different descriptions also. Just saying. There's a lot of different colors of humans. That means I think there's a lot of different colors of Bigfoot depending on their diet, their location, the
What you're saying,
structure
what
they
you're
live in,
saying-
the forest they live in. They have to adapt to different.
What you're saying
things. What?
is that you think that the same things that caused such human diversity would also
Will
cause
cause
Bigfoot diversity, which makes them completely acceptable because they're diverse.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you hear these things, well, that's not a Bigfoot, that's the Sabine thing, or that's not a Bigfoot, that's the Falk monster, Well, it probably is a Bigfoot. It's just a different kind of Bigfoot, but still the same overall genus, species, whatever.
Yeah.
So even some of the stuff that when they talking about the like in the Dogman, especially in Wisconsin area. they have a lot of dogman sightings there, and I'm on a radio show quite often out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and
Which are we going through Kenosha?
we had planned on going through Kenosha, but I don't know right now. We'll see. But they wanted me to go through, but they have a lot of dogman sightings in Kenosha, Wisconsin. But they also have Bigfoot sightings. But are they seeing the same thing? Is it a Bigfoot that has a slightly different face structure than, like, is he French as opposed to English? Slightly different in the way the people look.
There is?
There is, believe it or not. And it has to do with climate, diet, and location.
Yep.
So
amazing.
I'm sure the Bigfoot have different, features.
Okay, so after Ohio, then, not surprisingly, we come to Florida.
Florida.
Where Jews go to die, and I can say that because I am one. That's not why we're going to go to Florida someday. We're going to go Florida to chase 70 degrees and go scuba diving. But maybe buy a sailboat.
And look for the swamp ape.
The swamp ape.
That's what's in Florida.
Swamp apes! And that is where you get the biggest reports of mean, vicious Bigfoot. True. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I've heard that in Florida. A lot of people, when they have reports for Bigfoot, they feel threatened. It seems to be that the Florida skunk ape are more aggressive than
skunk ape or swamp ape?
Or skunk ape is what they're called. Did I say swamp ape before? I probably messed it up. But it's actually skunk ape.
Because they smell bad.
Because they smell bad because they live in a swamp.
So swamp ape would also be...
would work. Yeah. Or swamp thing. Anyway, that's a different thing. That's a comic book. But, so, maybe they're damp and smelly and grumpy about it. I know, but
well, I'd be grumpy too. I mean, look, what's living in a Florida swamp? You got alligators and snakes and good grief. I mean, I'd be cranky too if I was busy fending all those things off. Because what would win, a Bigfoot or an alligator?
Bigfoot.
But what if the alligator bites his arm off?
Bigfoot.
And then he'd bleed out and die.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm just telling you. I mean, it's a cranky place to live. I don't know why we ever populated Florida, and there's really not a fountain of youth there. Ponce de Leon, you were
messed up. Anyway. So let's move on to California.
California, of course, the most famous of all Bigfoot sighting spots.
Yeah, of course. You got the Patty film from Northern California, Willow Creek area. Mm-hmm. Bluff Creek.
Yep, the whole Sierra Nevada mountain range, which is part of that corridor from California to the Rockies.
Yep, exactly. You got Mount Shasta, and of course from Yosemite Park north, pretty much.
Yeah. Of course, the Miwok Indians considered Bigfoot
have a huge legend in the Miwok area in Central California.
Just like a normal part of their lives, Bigfoot.
Yep. And from the coast all the way inland to, that whole Northern California, all the way from the coast to the, Nevada border. You get sightings all the time.
Very mountainous and foresty.
Very mountainous and foresty. Rocky.
So
lots of rocks. Big rocks.
Yeah. So, and not too surprisingly, after California. So, unfortunately, let me just go back to this, Danny. We're not going to be in the Squatchin area when we come visit. Bakersfield.
Danny's got some stuff going on down there.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
They have forests down there too.
Yeah. So, anyway, but after California, not too surprisingly, is Washington.
Washington.
There's no R in there.
There's an R in it.
There's not an R.
It's Washington.
It is Washington.
I grew up
Learn
near
to
there.
speak. I need to send you to Professor Higgins.
Yep.
Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? Best musical ever. My Fair Lady.
Not really. Anyway, so
Oh, Danny says we're on.
okay, good.
We are scheduled to get to Santa Clarita, that whole area. I can't remember exactly the little community, but we're scheduled to get there on December 16th. So
Somewhere around mid-December.
yep. Anyway, Washington.
Washington. Of course, it's famous. The Olympic Peninsula. See, they've got two mountain ranges. They've
That
got the
converge.
Cascades and the Olympics, and then they go into Canada, which has millions of acres of nobody living there.
Yep.
Where I think there's a ton of Squatchies up there in Canada, but there's just no way to get to them or even know. I bet they have cities.
Entire settlements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the northern part of Canada, where nobody goes.
Do you know
Because
what?
in case you didn't know this, what is it? 90 some 9? There's a percentage.
90%
90%
of
of Canadians live within 50 miles of the American border. Did you know that?
Yeah. They're all right there. You go further north than that, no one wants. In fact,
No one wants to live there because
That's
it's
where
freaking cold.
yeah, but that's kind of where we should go.
It is.
Anyway, so you know what I'm surprised to see on this list?
What?
Surprised to not see on this list? I was expecting Alaska to be on the top 10 list.
Yeah, I know, but maybe it's just too damn cold in Alaska for Squatchies.
And because in Alaska, most of the population is along the rivers, and so they're not going to hang out there. Let me see if the article.
Okay,
has-
here's another list
Oh,
of the state with the most Bigfoot sightings by population.
Washington still wins.
Washington still wins,
And then Oregon.
and then Oregon. So now we're getting into West Virginia jumped way up there.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
So basically, they've
Country roads.
had a greater percentage of their population see Bigfoot.
See Bigfoot. Why is that?
Because the Ozarks.
Yeah, because West Virginians live in the woods. Duh. Oregon and
They have
Washington, you live in the
great
woods because you have to,
music.
because there's nothing else to live in.
Yes.
But unless you're in
West
Eastern
Virginia also has some amazing music.
Yeah, they do.
The Appalachian, that whole Appalachian. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Bigfoot, but I'm a musician, so I have to go there.
Yeah.
The Okie
And then-
Dokie brothers did it. I wonder if they ever saw Bigfoot while
I
they
don't
would go
know.
on their walking tour of the Appalachians.
And then look at this. You've got Idaho. Southern Idaho from Boise south
Not
is
so
pretty
much.
much desert. But from Boise north,
that's part of that corridor.
that's part of that corridor.
And then
Between the Blue Mountains and the Rockies, they got both of them there.
interesting. Then we
Clear
get
up the Panhandle. It is
Then we-
gorgeous,
yeah.
rough, rugged, steep country.
Is that where the sawtooths are?
Yeah, yeah, and I've spent a lot of time there. I used to live in Boise. My son still lives in Boise, and
Used to
Yeah.
go hiking there a lot.
a lot. I spent days in the sawtooths.
And
Months.
then here we go. Look, Gordon says I must be part Bigfoot. I would rather be in the deep country too. Most of us would be, especially these days.
Yep.
And then we get into Montana and Wyoming. So now we're seeing the end of that corridor.
Yep, the end of the corridor. Montana and Wyoming. Both of them have Rocky Mountains going through them. Imagine that.
Then
A
after-
lot of people thinks Wyoming's kind of flat and dusty and deserty, but not western Wyoming. And there's nothing but oil wells. There are nothing but oil wells in Wyoming, but cheapest gas in the country, by
yes,
the way.
it was awesome coming through here.
Yeah.
Then we have Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Falk.
Arkansas. So, and then that's down into, now you're getting into the Texas Big Thicket area. The foresty Texas part.
Yep. And then we have Alaska.
Then Alaska finally hit the list.
So there have been 22 sightings, which actually
That's not many.
That's not many, and it's not so surprising because, if the majority of the population is in that inside passage, where it's warmer, the Banana Belt part of Alaska,
Juneau
and Ketchikan and all that, and then you get up into Anchorage, which of course is going to be too populated.
Right.
And then up by Fairbanks is just freaking cold.
It's
Nobody wants to be
too
there.
cold. You can't survive the winters.
I mean, people do, but they've got heaters.
They've got tools.
Yeah.
Bigfoot doesn't have the tools.
Yes. And so they're like
and I'm pretty sure they don't hibernate.
Yeah, so they're going to be south for the winter.
They'll be south.
Hey, we'll have a good chance of seeing one when we're down there south for the winter.
South where?
In Texas.
In Texas, yep.
In Texarkana. Maybe we'll see the Falk monster. That'd be awesome.
Speak up. Yeah,
It just occurred to me that we're going south for the winter like the geese.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So, and then Oklahoma.
I'm going to be warm all winter. I'm so excited.
It's kind of amazing that Oklahoma doesn't have a lot of forests either, but they're on the list.
Yeah.
By population, more of their people. So what this is, and then Ohio, of course, we talked about the grassman.
Yeah.
Lots of Bigfoot in Ohio. We need to spend a lot of time in Ohio coming up sometime. We need to put that on our list. Check off summertime, Ohio.
Well, I have a friend in Ohio who would love to see us, so.
Okay. So we need to go there. There's a couple pretty famous Bigfooters in Ohio. Maybe we can get a hold of them and spend some time
I'll
with
let
them.
you take care of that.
Okay.
So, anyway, we've got 13 minutes.
What? So that's our list. So we need to go back to the big map. There we go.
All right, so we are going from Maine, which is up there, and we're going west. I don't even know how to look at this. I'm looking at the wrong. It's over here on my screen too.
Yeah, we're going to be headed down through Maine, up the northern area.
See, here's the thing. When you
we're going to start.
When you grow up on the West Coast and you study geography, you learn everything west of the Rockies really well. Anything east of the Rockies, you have no idea what those states are.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm looking at this map going, I don't even know where we are. I sort of know where we are, but not really.
Yeah, just kind of a funny thing, and I'm not bashing you East Coasters at all. Trust me, it's not this, but my dad is from Maine, from where we're at here in Maine. Actually, just a couple hours north of here.
And we've been there several times.
Yep. And so Maine is like a family for me. Here in Maine is where my Acadian family are from. I mean, this is where they're from.
You're getting ready to make fun of your family.
No, I'm not making fun of my family. But I'm just going to say something my dad used to say when he traveled west, and he went in the Air Force, ended up in Idaho, where he met my mom, and he just stayed on the West Coast after that. And he didn't come back to Maine. And he kept telling me, there's nothing good on that side of the Mississippi.
It's true.
So I'm not bad. My dad said he didn't like life over here
What side
as much
is
as he did.
Nebraska on? Is that west of the Mississippi?
No.
Nebraska's not west?
Oh, it is west.
Okay, because I was going to say, no, they got some serious nachos. But they're west. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, so, but anyway, I had a lot of fun in Maine this summer.
Wink, wink, food gets better the further west you go.
That's what Hannah thinks.
It is.
The food's better in the west. Or maybe it's just because that's what we grew up with and that's our palate.
Yes.
I
It
don't
has
know.
lots of spices.
Yeah.
Lots of spices. Chipotle habanero.
Chipotles, yeah.
Heavily spiced. He even thinks I cook stuff too hot now. Heat hot and spice hot.
Yep. So anyway,
Too much cayenne.
we're down to...
We are down to 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes of their time to waste. What are we going to do with it?
Okay, we want to waste your time for 10 minutes. So, like and subscribe. And if you don't like it, press the thumbs down button twice.
Twice.
Because you hate it. Okay? But,
we are really looking forward, folks. We are looking forward to moving forward with this, and we so appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. I just got an email from our internet provider, Nomad Internet, and they were explaining to their customer base how this situation has impacted their ability to provide service, and it's the same.
Right.
You know, when we had to when you have to completely recreate your life to manage a global pandemic, all our grand plans were, it's been kind of off the cuff.
Right.
So we are really looking. I mean, he cannot wait to get his Footprint Fridays back up. And
Me too. And get back out in the woods. I mean, this whole summer has just been a Debbie Downer. So.
Well, I've had some uppers, but
yeah.
And I don't mean the little red or blue pill kind, but I've had a really good summer. In fact, you can go to my Facebook page, Hannah Burko Violette, and you can see I just put up a Thankful Thursday video today. What I was thankful for.
Okay, awesome.
So, and it's been a good summer for me.
East Coast Pizza's better.
Yes, okay, yes. The East Coast Pizza. Can I give a plug? They don't even know I'm doing this. They don't even know we exist. But Millinocket House of Pizza, or Katahdin House of Pizza, or whatever. It's in Katahdin House of Pizza in Millinocket, Maine. Oh my God. Oh.
Call them up and have them mail you one.
Oh my gosh. I just yeah. And I help people lose weight and get healthy, and I can't have enough of their pizza. It's just, that's probably why I don't get it very often, because I can't stop eating it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's the serious best pizza we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, anything else before we sign off?
We still got like 9 minutes according to my thing.
We have 8 minutes here.
So, yeah.
Okay, the Nana treats are pretty awesome too. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so here's something the East Coast...
Here's another plug. Yeah.
Here's something the East Coast has that the West Coast does not have. Whoopie pies.
Yes.
Whoopie pies. I would say that a good whoopie pie can outdo a Krispy Kreme donut any day.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
And Denise Levac, our cousin-in-law, owner and sole proprietor of Nana Sweet Treats, can make you some serious whoopie pies.
Yep.
So my favorite one, that I should not be saying this out loud, but I will, because I've tried them. I have not overindulged, but I have tried. So you know those Little Debbie's oatmeal cream sandwiches? Well, she makes a whoopie pie that's a homemade oatmeal raisin cookie on each side, and then it has about that much, like a cream cheese / buttercream frosting in the middle.
It's killer.
Yeah.
Yummy.
They have derailed me from time to time.
Yep.
She makes them little tiny for me, so I don't feel so bad. But
right. But that's one thing, and another East Coast thing, the whoopie pies.
The whoopie pies. We will not forget whoopie pies.
And Nana's whoopie pies.
Yeah. I don't know what coffee milk is. I will say this. Coffee over here.
Well, that's another thing. Coffee in the West Coast or East Coast.
When you've grown up under the Seattle coffee influence.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're from the Pacific Northwest and you've got
Starbucks, Seattle's Best, Stumptown Coffee, all the places.
All the places, yeah. And
heck, even Sorbonauts.
Even Sorbonauts.
Out of Baker City.
Yeah, and what's that one with the windmill?
Dutch Bros.
Dutch
no,
Bros.
No, don't go there.
Well, so, coming from a town that had a small town.
10,000 people.
10,000 people, Baker City, Oregon, and having
5, 6, 7, 10.
6, I don't know, there's like 6 or 7 coffee shops, of course.
And 2 Starbucks.
Literally across the street from each other, by the way. That's not a joke. 2 Starbucks. Right across Campbell Street from each other.
Yeah.
Coming out here, and the only thing they have is Dunkin' Donuts. That's it.
They don't even have that here. Here you go to McDonald's for your coffee.
Yeah. And they have Dunkin' Donuts, which don't have lattes. They have coffee. And I'm like, that's sad. I mean, there's like several towns around just and we have to drive over an hour
To get a coffee.
to get a coffee.
Yeah. The closest place for me to get any kind of coffee that I don't
Is
brew
in
myself
Bangor.
is in Bangor.
Bangor, Maine. No, Bangor.
Bangor?
Bangor.
I don't know.
They say Bangor. It depends on who you talk to.
Anyway, so you guys are bragging Baker's not. Yes, Baker is that big. 10,000. Average is 10,000 if you average it out. And what we're hearing lately is that the Baker housing market
Is
has
exploding.
exploded there. We should have waited a year to sell our house.
You're in, let's see,
LeGrand.
Craig, you're in LeGrand or Union, I think. Baker's bigger than Union if you're from Union, but I thought you were from Union. But if you're from LeGrand,
Yeah,
LeGrand is bigger.
They've
and
got the
bigger
university.
because they got a university.
But the Baker housing market has absolutely exploded because people from California
And Portland are moving
and Boise, they're all moving there.
out of the big cities. Wonder
So-
why. Okay.
Yep. Anyway, so 4 minutes down. Thank you so much for watching, for putting up with us. There are honestly evenings where it's just like, oh, I'm not
I know,
made for this.
But thank you for joining us on a Thursday.
Yes.
And catching us on Thursday. We're going to keep the Thursday thing up.
By the way, the stream was much better tonight.
Yes,
There wasn't
absolutely.
nearly the lag
And the
so-
volume problems and all that stuff. The reason we switched from Sunday to Thursdays is because Sunday night, worldwide, and it's just a thing, the internet is jammed.
Yep.
And especially YouTube. They have a lot of people who do Sunday night stuff, and their servers are just crammed, and we get a lot of lag. But if you notice tonight, I've been watching it because she's streaming it while while I'm streaming it on my computer. She's receiving it on her computer
On a different server.
on a different server, and we can tell the difference. The lag time we have is nothing tonight, and
Yeah.
our video looks a lot better. And so
Yeah, and so actually Craig says that in the ground they're buying houses here sight unseen for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Eastern Oregon is going to explode.
Yeah.
So you better hope that they're gonna, and I know LeGrand will welcome in the industry. Baker not so sure. But we'll see. Anyway, Marianne, you're so sweet. Oh, Marianne is sweet. Thank
you are. Thank you.
Anyway, if you would like a super cheap t-shirt, $15 will cover the t-shirt and shipping. They are $15. And you did not get it in on the super chat. Go ahead,
You can
shoot
still
us
throw
in.
it in real fast, or shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email.
Squatch, Oregon. No, it's squatchoregon@gmail.com. It's in the link.
Yep.
And just send us an email, and we will get you our limited t-shirts, one of a kind, almost extinct, our
Yeah.
old logo.
Okay, here's
our new
a
logo.
shameless plug. We need the money. We spent money on these things. We got to recoup something.
Yeah. So we're just going to try to get what we got in them out and call it good.
All right.
And we wanted to offer to you guys first because you're our loyal fanages, and I love it.
I don't think that's a word.
That's
but
not a word. I
whatever.
just made that up. But we love you guys. We
Yes,
really, really, really do.
absolutely.
So, thanks for watching.
Keep
Thanks
it
for Megan.
squatchy and
I forgot to do our credit thing.
do our credit thing.
Remember,
Our job is
Go ahead.
our job is to investigate the unexplained, not to explain the uninvestigated. Although there's sometimes a fair amount of that going on.
There is a fair amount of that in the world today. So, thank you guys for watching.
Keep it squatchy.
Keep it squatchy and go
Go
out
and find Bigfoot. Bye.